A changing of the guard in the green and gold. Youthful promise overflows. With springtime silverware just out of reach, the boys of summer are ready to be unleashed. Can a kingdom rise to halt history in the making and reclaim their game?
Most expect this to be fairly routine for Kerry, but a wet night, a greasy ball in Cusack Park, which is rarely a gimme for any visiting side. There's still a job to be done here. And Kerry start on the attack. James O'Donoghue in towards Gainey, who breaks it down. David Clifford gets on it. Clare realise where the danger is, and it's that Kerry inside forward line. Gainey keeps it alive, and it's worked through the hands. David Moran, nice little shimmy, and 6 minutes on the clock. David Moran opens the scoring. Big night for young Diarmuid O'Connor, and it's his pass inside to Shane Enright, who is operating in that Kerry half-back line. Tom O'Sullivan, and they look for that ball, dropped in behind again. Gainey ushers Clifford away from it, sells the little dummy, he's away from Killian Brennan, improves the angle. Paul Gainey, and he becomes the first of that much vaunted Kerry inside forward line to register. James O'Donoghue popping up in a variety of positions in these early minutes. Lovely ball inside, Sean O'Shea, goal chance for Kerry. Oh, it's off the post, kept alive by Clifford, finds a little space and pops it over to ensure Kerry leave with something. They've got a point, probably should have been a goal. O'Donoghue on the move again, gets his head up, booming ball in towards Clifford and Gainey once more. It's been one of the tactics in the early minutes. Clifford has it, Gainey, he's in behind around the goalkeeper, but finds only the side netting. Another goal chance goes a-begging. And Clare need to find a foothold. So far just one pointed free from David Tubridy to show for their efforts. You can hear Peter Keane and Tommy Griffin shouting at that Kerry full forward line to get back out and pressurise. They've done that. James O'Donoghue has turned the ball over. Here's Clifford, and they keep it moving. Little injection of pace. Diarmuid O'Connor joins in, and Diarmuid O'Connor with a championship point, and that all came from the pressure from James O'Donoghue. Space to attack here. Ease down into the corner once more. They've gone in that direction so often in this first half. Clifford, the angle tightening all the time. Excellent score from David Clifford. 8 points to 1 down. Clare needs some inspiration from somewhere. Gary Brennan, better ball inside, and Tubridy gets on it. Support arriving from Owen Cleary. The two real danger men in that Clare forward line have combined. Very well taken score from Cleary. Kerry's first outing of the championship year, lots of focus and attention on them, and they haven't disappointed this evening. Very encouraging first half, and here they go again, and it's David Clifford running Kelly. Look to double up on Clifford, the hand pass on the inside, it's James O'Donoghue! Brilliant finish! And they spurned a couple of goal chances, not this one. If Kerry can get a fully fit season out of James O'Donoghue, they might be set for a big year. Cleary outside of the left boot. Tubridy his target again, shadowed by Tyke Morley. He's trying to push him wider and wider. Tubridy, well, this would be some score if he lands it in these conditions, and he has done. Second of the night for Tubridy, first from play. And what from Kerry now in the second half, so comfortable going in at half-time. Maybe the question, what of Clare? And it's looking porous and open at the back again, and Spillane drives into that space, and Adrian Spillane makes it Kerry by 12. Here's Kieran Malone. Would have been disappointed not to start, but it's been prominent since his introduction. Malone with the little short popped hand pass to Jamie Malone, and it's Cathal O'Connor joining in now. O'Connor and Brennan starting to get to grips with this game in midfield now. Gainey stepping out cleverly into space to receive this one. He's got options, he's got runners. Comes all the way across to this near side, and it's Micheál Burns, the substitute, to ease that one over. Off the bench and off the mark, Burns. Cormac Murray Kildare dugout not happy with a few of the Kerry challenges in the last few minutes. Here's Malone to work it forward. Tubridy, lovely little shimmy. Oh, and that's set off well outside the upright, but he curled it in beautifully, David Tubridy. Showing some character in this second half, Clare. Looked in serious trouble at half-time. They're making a game of it second half, and that is high for Mark Griffin, who has already been booked in this game. And I think he senses his fate here. It's a second yellow for Mark Griffin, and Kerry reduced to 14. Tommy Walsh getting back goal side. Clare charging forward again. Brennan and O'Connor have had big second halves. That's Fitzgerald, gets his pass away, and Jamie Malone can pop over his second of the night. The gap down to 7. In the first half, where Kerry were in total control and looking comfortable, they've always had that buffer on the scoreboard. This second half, it's just felt a little bit uneasy for them. Being outscored down the stretch by Clare. Here's Diarmuid O'Connor. Oh, good run in behind. Jason Foley, look where he's popped up. Well, made up O'Connor's mind as to where to pass that ball with an intelligent run, Jason Foley. Well, can Clare have the final say? It's been a good second half performance from them, but the horse had well and truly bolted in a chastening first half. Cleary eases over his 5th point of the evening. And there is the final whistle for Clare. Certainly a second half performance that gives heart ahead of the qualifiers for Kerry. A Jekyll and Hyde night, but they are back in a Munster final. Final score in Ennis, Clare 12 points, Kerry 115.
They were fantastic in the second half. They ran at Kerry and they tackled and harried and got turnovers, and we were getting the turnovers in the second half where they were getting them in the first half. You know, we were giving the ball away, and they were unforced turnovers. And to win games like that, you need to get everything right.
I think we missed 3 goal scoring chances in that first half. We were just on the verge of opening them up and missing and whatever, and good saves. But look, we were relatively happy going in at half time, and look, I don't know whether guys took the foot off the gas maybe in the second half, but look, we got out of here, and I suppose at the end of the day that's the most important thing.
Yeah, and they got out comfortably enough. But Pat, when we look at the Kerry attack, there's a lot of very talented individual players, a lot of people talking about how potent this Kerry forward line can be. How are they going in your view?
Well, not great so far. I mean, if you go through the league, half the scores in the league came from Shawnee Shea, and 80% of them were from frees. They scored in the first 7 league match rounds of the league, they scored 3 goals. Last night's performance, they got 1-5 from play, the forwards. That's 6 scores. In the second half, none of them scored from play. It was Micheál Burns. So the forwards aren't firing well. The problem is, a lot of the problem is that, you know, a gunfighter isn't much use without bullets. A forward isn't of much use unless he gets a supply of ball. And probably the supply of ball isn't coming into them as frequently as it should be. Well, if Kerry can win, if Kerry can get 50-50 or 60-40 centre field, Kerry will be a threat to any county in this year's championship.
We did see that spell though before half-time where they closed out the game.
It was a game that Kerry never looked like losing. And the game was put to bed in an 8-minute spell just before half-time when they scored 1-5, 1-3 from play. And this is Kerry at their best. You know, the movement, the support play, the quick hands, the good decision-making, the angles of running. In this case, Diarmuid O'Connor finally coming on, identifies space in the middle, breaks through the centre and scores a wonderful point. This is Kerry at their best. A long kick pass, took out 6 Clare defenders, finding James O'Donoghue, who is now back to form. A beautiful diagonal ball. David Clifford showed well, does a bit of a shimmy, makes a bit of space for himself on the left foot, and a lovely score. And this was the goal, and they did leave behind 3 goal scoring chances. This was the one. But you could highlight loads of things in this. It's the movement, it's the support play, it's the quick hands, it's the decision making. David Clifford demanding the ball. Now watch what David Clifford does. He rounds Gordon Kelly, but this is how intelligent a player is. The head is up. Shawnee Shea, highlighted here, makes a run. He draws a defender. James O'Donoghue has the hand up, looking for the ball, and a wonderful score. What will be happening from last... Look, Kerry, what will be happening... 2 things that will be happening from last night's performance. The performance of James O'Donoghue. He scored 1-1. He was responsible for being fouled for 2 other occasions. He was on 15 possessions. He's getting back to form. But look, Kerry were 11 points up with 20 minutes to go, and whatever happened, you know, what last Sunday Dublin had ruthlessness and they kept the pedal to the metal. Whatever happened, Kerry, for that 20-25 minutes, they were very, very poor.
Yeah, well, in fairness, Colin Collins pointed out that the Clare fellas didn't give up.
Give credit to Clare.
Yeah.
They never backed down. They never threw in the towel. They kept battling and battling and battling, and they won the second half score-wise. They won the second half in possession. In actual fact, they had more shots at goal than Kerry.
What did you make of Kerry?
Well, I think you're looking at Kerry in the context of being All-Ireland contenders in the top 2 or 3 days. And I still think we haven't really seen a whole lot. They focused on their defensive work rate maybe during the league. They were probably ahead of people at the start of the league. What do you mean they didn't?
No, they didn't. In the league final, they were absolutely
No, but I mean the start of the league. In those first few games, they got points on the board because they were working extremely hard, and he's trying to build a work ethic into the forwards, in the likes of Donoghue and Clifford and Geaney, getting them to work incredibly hard. But for me, there's still elements. We still don't know whether they've sorted out their defence. Jack Sherwood played as a sweeper last night, probably because Clare played with a sweeper. Midfield, David Moran picked up a black card. They need to have a dominant pair in the middle of the park. And then in the second half, they just got sloppy last night. You know what I mean? Well, like there was times when you know, James, like this is when they should smell blood. Like, I know James O'Donoghue is just coming back, and I know the conditions were poor. Dropped it short. Here's Clifford again, another poor shot. Like, they have to be a little bit more ruthless. Does everything right here, no pressure, and just a poor kick out. And this is the part that would annoy Peter Keane, that they just got sloppy. They lost their cohesion, they lost their rhythm in the second half. They made basic mistakes. Their movement in the middle of the park for me was poor. There's no one supporting, they're all static, and they give away a sloppy hand pass. You know, again, look at the 6 guys in the middle. Nobody's looking for the ball. Yeah. So they hit a flat, no energy there, hit a flat patch, not getting anyone in possession, and then a loose kick pass kicked away. So for me, yes, the game was won. Yes, sometimes you can take your foot off the pedal. That's a natural instinct maybe in teams. And Clare upped it, and Clare didn't give up to the very end. They worked extremely hard. But I think, you know, we really, for me, they are really work in progress. Even physically, even in the tackle, they got turned over. Like, I don't know whether they're at the level of conditioning. They're young guys. So for me, they're work in progress. The Munster final will be another good test.
Last year, they hammered Clare by 22 points. They hammered Cork in the Munster final. Playing front foot football, high tempo football, and then they arrived to the Super 8s, and as Paul Geaney alluded to in an interview during the week, they were leggy, they were heavy, they were unsure of what system of play they should be playing, and I think this bad performance last night is the stick that Peter Keane requires to say, right, that we have a lot of sorting out to do. The key for Kerry is if they get to the Super 8s and if they're building momentum, building confidence, then there'll be a serious threat, I can tell you. OK, and I'm sure nobody will want to go and face Clare and Ennis either in the qualifiers if that should occur. Well, the other Munster semi-final, of course, took place in Porky.